All right, track wrestling here at the Olympic Training Center with Jordan Burroughs back on the world team.
Yeah, man.
Once again. You've had 3 weeks now to reflect on Lincoln, just your general thoughts on getting through that process, because that's like a high-level world caliber series there.
It's good, man. It's my first time losing in the U.S. as a freestyle wrestler, right? So it was an interesting position to be in, but within that, I thought it did so much for the legacy that I try to create every time I compete, right? And so I could have easily gone out, well, not easily, it's going to be difficult because Kyle's extremely tough, right? But going out and beating Kyle back to back, right, created very little excitement. And not that it's something that I didn't want to do, that's what I planned to do and what I tried to do. But within that, you know, showing the mental fortitude and toughness, especially after, you know, such a subpar performance in Rio, right? And so after losing to Godoy, going back and losing to Bekzad, but then here, after losing my first match, coming back and being able to, you know, get back the second match in a tightly contested match and then going on to win the third, it was huge for me. So very excited about it, what I was able to do. Yeah, I'm gritty. I consider myself gritty, and I have a lot of mental toughness. So that's something that I'm glad I got to display, especially in my home crowd, in front of all the people in Lincoln. It was cool.
How is this different than 12 months ago? I mean, are you feeling weight off your shoulders? I mean, they're not...
No.
Really?
No, not at all. There's not a day that passes that I don't think about Rio, right? And so I use it as motivation, but also there's something so significant about it that you can never forget it. Right? So people are like, okay, well, move on, right? It happened, it's done, move on from it. But for me, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to use this to make sure that I put myself in the best position to be prepared, but not only to be prepared, but to give 100% within the match. Like, I was 100% prepared for Rio, right? I was better than I ever been, wrestling well in training camp, but being prepared and having intentions and actually executing those intentions within a match are completely different, right? And so on the day of competition, I didn't wrestle my best, wasn't moving my feet, and so I know moving forward, the things I have to focus on is my hand motion, right? Using my feet, using heavy hands, staying tough in positions, wrestling my legs back from like defense, whatever the case may be, getting to single legs and finishing. And so like I have specific things that I want to work on that I know if I work on these things, I can't ensure victory, but I'm going to put myself in a good position to be a world champion.
What was the evaluation process like from that?
It sucked, dude. It was the worst. I was in a dark place, right? Because I was miserable. I was miserable because I had so many expectations for myself, so many things that I wanted to do that I expected after the Olympic Games, from being a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, putting my name in the record books, putting myself in a very limited class of people who have won 2 Olympic gold medals. And so like all the stuff that I thought about clouded my judgment and my ability to have a peak performance, right? And so afterward, I'm like, man, I've got to stay focused on the main thing, right? Because it's a slippery slope, right? The more you brand yourself, the less you can train. The more you train, the less you brand yourself, right? So winning isn't enough. Winners don't always get the best sponsorships and endorsements and get paid, right? But then also guys who just brand themselves, no one cares because they're not in record books, right? Everyone makes money. Everyone doesn't make history. And so now my focus is to get back to the root of what I love, and that's just being the best wrestler and being the toughest guy in the room.
Is this at all like 2011 again?
Yeah, a little bit, except I got a wife here and 2 kids running around the wrestling room in the afternoon, so that's a little bit different, but it's fun, man. It's fun. I try to stay focused, and now instead of being the young gun that is trying to prove myself, I kind of take motivation from these young guys, right? Zane Rutherford and Kyle Snyder and those guys that I see that have done things at a high level at such a young age, and they're looking forward to going back and to Paris and winning gold. Like this. Nothing in their mind says they're not capable of doing it, right? Regardless if they've been there, if they've already won it, they're like, listen, I'm prepared, I've done all the work, I'm gonna win this thing. And so, yeah, that freedom is really cool to see.